So I know I'm not filming in my normal location. I'm just filming outside because honestly, I'm not gonna have time to record this review later because I want to have this review out tomorrow for you guys. Or well, not tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day I put this video out. I want to get this video out. And Expendables 4, man. I watched it this morning, and I fucking hated it. To be honest, this year has been a pretty decent year for movies. Okay, most of the movies I've seen this year that have been really bad are just forgettable. Like I don't remember much about the Meg 2 except it didn't have enough sharks and that annoyed me. I don't remember Mafia Mama or some of these random bad movies I've seen this year. But this is where an average worst of the year list this movie would be on. I'm not even sure I'm going to do a worst of the year list this year because I have so few movies. We'll see how the rest of the year goes, right? But if I did, this one would be on the list. It would definitely be in the top 5. First of all, this movie, it seems very rushed into production. They announced this a few years ago. Then there was just no word on it. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of came out and there was a lot of trailers. Well, there wasn't a lot of trailers, but you get what I mean. They just kind of rushed this movie out, and it feels that way. It felt like nobody in this movie wanted to be there. All the action scenes were just nonsensical and all CGI very heavy. And part of that is because if you understand these Expendables movies, they're very like older actors, gentlemen, who are action heroes of their day. They come in, they do one more badass run as these characters. It's like a tribute to the old Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, those type of people, those types of movies, right? Action movies. It's a setup of those, it celebrates those, it has fun with those, right? So when you watch this one specifically, they're all older than the other ones, so they had to edit around them and make them but they were still able to do more than they are now because it's a decade later almost this one. So you got all these guys that are older now and they can't really do the action scenes that they need to do now, so it just looks terrible, right? And it's just a terribly shot sequence, and it's just like I don't get what they're doing here. And it's just like I don't know, it's a horribly shot movie. A lot of the acting was very confusing and most of it was just dumb. There's just you could tell this movie, a lot of it was fluff. The first action scene, Stallone wants his ring back that he lost in a thumb wrestling shit, and then he goes and wrestles, gets it back. But that's like the first action scene of the movie. This just sequence that just did not need to happen. It was just adding the runtime. There was another action scene that happened. There's other stuff that it was just padding the runtime. Nobody looked like they wanted to be there. It was poorly shot. Just awful. Yeah, I think this is honestly the worst film of the year in terms of action movies anyways. I think there's probably a couple other movies that I put higher on my worst of the year list, but it is just bad. There's just no redeeming qualities of this movie. It's just boring. It's long. Nobody looked like they wanted to be there. And even as someone who kind of understands that the other Expendables movies weren't great either, I didn't get anything out of it. Holy shit. Also, what's funny is I'm over here recording and there's a homeless dude over here mimicking what I'm doing in the video. He's waving his arms and shit. That's funny. Whatever. Weird day. Filming in a weird location. Watching a bad movie. But here we go.